I always start with the first question, which is, how did you first get into the beauty industry? But let's take it back to kind of like your childhood, what happened there, and then how we progressed here.
We'll go from there. So I went into care when I was 11 years old, which obviously I know, and that's a lot. And
11?
That's like the start of like your teens. Like you've got so much going on. Like you just started secondary school. Like my whole life got tipped upside down. I went into foster care with complete strangers, was separated from my younger sister. Like I lost everything in my life as I knew it in that moment. And that's a lot for anyone to process at any age, no matter what happens to you, but especially when you're an 11-year-old child and you've just got thrown into the world on your own and you're not really too sure how to navigate through it, to be completely honest. I think one thing that I found throughout the years with being in the care system was, unfortunately, there's such a stigma to anyone that's within the care system. No matter anybody knowing your circumstances or what you've been through or your story as to how you've ended up in that position, unfortunately, you're just kind of looked at with the, set to fail, which is something that I really struggled with because I just couldn't understand how everyone would look at me and just instantly think I was going to fall down. Like I didn't want that out of my life. And unfortunately, the care system fails so many children. Support, kind of emotional help, everything. And it's really hard to actually physically make something of your life when you've got nobody helping you and guiding you with them steps to really get there. So for me, I really struggled, like, in my teens. I lost, like, a lot of time at school through no fault of my own. Like, I was literally going through, like, the High Court in London from, like, the age of 11 with, like, the case that me and my sister went through. And it's a lot of adult-based stuff that a child's being put through. But in some ways, it made me grow up really quickly. And I'm a massive believer in whatever happens to you in your life, you've kind of got two choices with what you take of it. You either let it defeat you or you let it make you. And I was very much of the head frame of, I'm going to make myself something out of this situation. Like, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to prove to everyone that I'm actually going to make something of my life. And a big thing for me was I wanted to provide myself with stability that I've never been given. I wanted something that nobody could ever take away from me and that I was always going to have my own. Because for me, it was me for me. Like, I didn't have anybody having my corner, wiping my tears, helping me with things. It was me surviving for myself. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do that. I tried academically, but I just wasn't really that academically bright. I don't think many of us are. And I think a big issue with schools as well, which I will say, is where I went to school specifically was very much, if you're not academically bright, you're not going to get anywhere. So I'm thinking, here we go again. Like, I'm not going to get anywhere. What am I going to do with my life? With being in the care system, I moved out when I was 18 years old. Like, I had literally a 2-bed flat.
But it's 7 years,
yeah,
isn't it?
7 years. So literally, it was kind of like survival mode for me. Like, I needed a job, I needed to earn money because I needed to survive. That's it. Like, there was nobody that was making me dinner when I got home, nobody washing my bed sheets. Like, I had to survive for myself. So I got a full-time job and I was actually working in law. Like, this is the strangest thing. I never went to beauty college or anything because of where I went to school. That wasn't really like a thing. And I feel like times are starting to change, which is really good, that actually having a physical skill set is now actually looked at and praised. Whilst back when I went to school, like, that wasn't even something that they'd look for in people. So I was doing a law apprenticeship, earning money, turned that into a full-time job. And then I was struggling for money. Like, I was earning like £945 a month. Like, how does anyone survive on that? It's not enough. I started saving money and investing it into courses. So I'd do a lash course, I'd earn money from that. Do a brow course, money from that.
There's like online courses?
No,
or like
in-person trainings,
ones,
in-person training. And I was doing this for a couple of years, and then I actually really started to find my peace and my happiness within what I was doing. And I was actually starting to think, do you know what? I'm actually quite good at this. Yeah. And I loved meeting people. I loved making them feel good about themselves and really felt like I was actually giving back into something. I was finding my passions. So that's actually how my story began. It was kind of like something really negative that started my story, spiraled into something positive. It really ignited that fire and that drive in me to make something of my life.
I love that. So when you was doing your law, your apprenticeship in law, wasn't it? Yeah. And then you started to kind of like build a little bit of something up on the side. Yeah. How long was it doing that until you kind of decided, you know what, law's not for me, I want to go down the beauty route? Where was your head at?
To be honest, I was probably doing it for about 1.5 to 2 years. I think for me, because that was like my inner child that I think I was trying to heal a little bit. Like I went into law because I was very much like, I want to try and do something to do with like family law. Like I was so mistreated as a child, like, and I think it was me trying to heal that inner child. And then I think after time I actually realised that I didn't need to do that. That I wasn't going to do that. Like I needed to let go of that. It was never going to give me what I was maybe trying to find in it. And doing these courses on the side and having clients and building my own little business was actually where I was healing that inner child without even realising it. I was healing those things that I needed to fix within myself. So it was about 2 years I think I've been doing it for. And then I actually just decided literally at the start of 2019, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do this full time. So I left my full-time job and I just threw everything I had into it. And within 5 months, I opened my first salon.
Wow.
Yeah, at 21.
So you really went for it then, because I know how much action you need to take to go full-time into it and open your salon in 5 months. Like you must have been working from waking till sleeping.
Let me tell you this, right? I literally, when I was working my full-time job, I'd be waking up like, I will have some clients that will watch this and they'll be like, yeah, I was one of them. I literally would do clients from 7 a.m. Literally say to clients, come for 7, like I'll do your lashes or do your brows. I'd go to work. In like busier periods like Christmas, I'd literally be going home and spray tanning people in my lunch breaks. And then every evening and every weekend, I'd just do clients. Like I really gave up my social life like in them years. But I was so grateful, so unbelievably grateful that people believed in me and that I was building that business and I had the clientele there, that I put everything into it. And I was so determined to make it work and so like determined of what I wanted out of it that I just threw everything I had into it.
That doesn't come as a surprise, because I obviously speak with a lot of beauty business owners and some of them are like, oh, I've been doing this for so many months now and I'm not getting busy. I'm like, you're not taking enough action.
No.
Because I have seen firsthand what taking a lot of action can do. And like you said, you've made sacrifices, you've dedicated yourself, you've committed yourself. Question, did you, when you was going through the care system, was money very like not handed to you?
No.
So you had your hustle mode on?
So I was in foster care and I had a really bad time in foster care. Like I feel like foster carers aren't really vetted like for the type of thing. One thing that I've realised over the years, the way that they actually advertise for foster carers is you could earn up to £300 a week a child. That's so messed up.
Yeah,
like
I know, right?
what the like I just think to myself, like, you should be fostering children to help children, not to help your bank. So unfortunately I didn't have the best time in foster care. Like it was a really tough time, but my friends literally pulled me through that. Like I was so fortunate for my friends. Like I wouldn't have got through it without my friends, like, and their parents like having me for dinner most nights, having me there every weekend. But money was just not
there for you.
I think, like, for me, everything I have in my life has been funded by me. Like, and that's why it means so much to me, because it was me that started that first brick to build the entire foundation, and it literally has just been sacrifice after sacrifice to then start to reap the rewards. But everyone says in business, like, if for the first 3 years you even break even, like, you're doing well. Like if you then start to make profit, like, you're doing really good. But yeah, for me, it was just earning money and then reinvesting that into something else. And nobody was there giving me the money, nobody was helping me. Like it was me for me. Like I had to build it up on my own. But yeah, I got there in the end.
So you know, when you was like doing these clients before work, during lunch breaks, after works, was it kind of like your first experience of like, oh shit, like there's money, this is more money, because you probably earned more on your lunch break than you did in your flipping afternoon at work,
this
didn't
is
you?
like the craziest thing about it. Like this full-time job that I had, like obviously one of the reasons why I started doing them courses is because I actually really wanted to, but I needed to earn money. Like,
of course.
I needed money, that was it. And what I was earning from my full-time job had to pay my rent on my house, my council tax, my water, my electric. It had to buy me food. It had to put fuel in my car. There wasn't money left over for me to, I don't know, go and get my nails done or actually like put into other things. Or say, for example, my car needed an MOT or needed a tyre, like there wasn't money left over. So when I started to see the money, I actually really started to think, oh my God, like you can really earn money out of doing these things. And like going back to when I was at school, it was never something that was really praised or really talked about, like go and do hair, go and do beauty. Like I feel like back then, and I do still feel that there's a bit of a stigma to it now with certain people. People don't think this industry is frugal, but it is unbelievably incredible. Like it's amazing, like literally amazing, like what you can earn if you put your time and your energy into it and give it your all. You can absolutely fly.
I love that. So let's go back again.
Yeah.
You was, it's funny you say that because I just recorded a video and basically I was saying in the video, this industry is underestimated and it's laughed at.
Yeah.
And also students at school are encouraged to stay away from the industry.
Yeah. Why?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
By people who are working 9 to 5 earning shit money.
Yeah, I know. This is what I mean. Like, I just think to myself, like, if you could be your own boss and create your own hours, your own life, dictate what you want to do and earn the most money that you could, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you? Like, I've got a friend who's literally gone through uni for the last 7 years to be a doctor. 7. And like the amount of like emotional torture she's gone through, like working in hospitals is absolutely like it's a lot. And honestly, I applaud anyone that works like within the healthcare system. But I just think to myself, like, why is it not praised to then go do something like we do, where you can actually earn more money and
earn more money
whatever.
and work less and
work
less of the trauma and all that stuff.
I just think to myself, what? Like, I don't understand why it's so frowned upon. And I really wish when I was at school that somebody had actually looked at me and gone, okay, like, let's tune into the other things that maybe you could put into a passion. Like, I was always that typical kid at school that you talk too much, you distract your friends too much. But no teacher actually looked at me and thought, okay, like maybe what could that go into? It was just very much, you're not academically bright, you're not going to do anything with your life. Like, you're a kid in care, like you're just getting pushed to the side. And I just think that's awful. Like, there's so many children that are mistreated by the care system, and I massively think by the education system, where they're just not given a chance. Everybody should be given a chance. And everybody like has a chance to do something with their life. I'm a massive believer in that. Like, I'm very much one of them people where there isn't an excuse for something. Like, I know that you can make anything out of your life. It's just how bad you want it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.